Welcome back to Autopro View. I'm glad you're here for an in-depth look at one of the most anticipated muscle cars coming our way, the 2026 Ford Mustang. In today's video, we're going to deep dive into everything you need to know, from styling changes and new color options, to the full engine lineup, interior updates, performance variants, and what this car means for the future of the pony car. Let's get started. 2. Before I begin, a quick disclaimer: as of now, some specs are based on announcements, leaks, and early previews, so final production details may shift. But this is the best picture we have so far. Introduction and market context: the Mustang has always occupied a special place in automotive culture. It's an icon. The 2026 model arrives amidst a shifting sports car landscape, tightening emissions, electrification on the horizon, and increasingly demanding fans. Ford is walking a fine line, modernizing the car while retaining that raw, analog spirit. The 2026 Mustang is built on the S650 platform, the same generation that started in 2024. But rather than a full new generation, 2026 is more of a refresh with enhancements and new variants. A step forward to keep the model competitive and exciting. Ford's official site describes the 2026 Ford Mustang as engineered for pure driving exhilaration, promising to amplify its heritage with refined execution. And Ford Authority has confirmed aesthetic updates, new colors, and the return of some retro-inspired flavor via a special FX package. The order banks for the 2026 Mustang opened in mid-2025, and deliveries are expected to begin in late 2025 or very early 2026 in many markets. Styling, exterior and design updates. One of the first things you'll notice with the 2026 Mustang is the subtle but meaningful exterior tweaks. While the overall silhouette remains familiar, Ford has added a few new touches to sharpen the look. New colors and accents: Ford is introducing two new color options: Adriatic Blue Metallic, a nod to past Mustang teal blue tones, and Orange Fury Metallic Treat Coat, reintroducing an orange hue to the Mustang palette since 2019. These join a broader range of about 11 available colors in total. In addition, Ford is offering colored seatbelt options, a small but visually striking interior accent. Options include orange, prime blue, or black with a red stripe. FX package, a retro Fox body influence. Perhaps the most talked about aesthetic addition is the FX package, available exclusively on the GT Premium trim. This package draws inspiration from the Mustang's Fox body eras 1979-1993, incorporating styling cues to evoke that DNA. Key elements of the FX package: Oxford white exterior accents and white badging, unique 19-inch wheels with retro flair, and specific center caps, Blake's asserts in sides referencing earlier Fox body styling, exterior stripes and word marks in class WEC coloring, combined with either transmission or body styles. Fastback's convertible, when paired with the performance package, it's a smart way forward to inject nostalgia without drivement of musing winter Ford, losing modern appeal. Removed options to streamlining. With the refresh, some colors and options have been dropped. For example, Ford has retired Wimbledon white and intense lime yellow for the 2026 model year. Also, Ford is removing the Remote Rev feature, which lets you rev the engine remotely for sound, likely a response to regulatory or emissions constraints. Other elements are refined: updated grille treatments, subtle tweaks to front fascia and lighting signature, new wheel designs and revised aerodynamic touches, splitters, side skirts, etc. In short, the car remains unmistakably a Mustang, but with sharper, cleaner character and a few nods to heritage. Powertrains and performance variants. One of the most exciting areas of the 2026 Mustang is how Ford is evolving and expanding the powertrain lineup. Ford is trying to deliver performance for different tastes, from balance and daily usability to full-blown track dominance. Base EcoBoost variant, the entry levels but still potent engine, continues to be a 2.3-liter turbocharged EcoBoost four-cylinder, now rated at 315 horsepower and 350 lb-ft of torque. This is a carryover of sorts, but fine-tuned for smoother delivery and better drivability within the Mustang chassis. This engine offers a compelling balance of performance and efficiency, making it attractive for buyers who want Mustang character without excessive fuel consumption or running costs. V8 Coyote and performance upgrades for enthusiasts who demand a V8. Ford continues with its 5.0L Coyote engine, upgraded for 2026 in 2 states of tune, Reports indicate the same 4018 lb-ft torque figure in both versions, with horsepower outputs likely at 486 HP and 500 HP elsewhere. Some sources place the standard GT V8 at about 480 HP for 2026, aligning with the existing output of the 2024-25 GT models. Transmission options remain a mix of 6-speed manual and 10-speed automatic. Mustang GTD supercharged dirt-track focused models. Ford is pushing the envelope with GTD, a performance variant meant to compete with high-end sports cars. The GTD is expected to use a supercharged 5.2-liter V8 producing over 800 horsepower and 650 lb-ft of torque. It uses a performance-optimized drivetrain including an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic rear transaxle layout, pushrod suspension, spool valve dampers, and aggressive aero features. This is meant to bring Mustang to a new level. More refined, more capable, to hang with supercars on track. In addition, there's the emerging Mustang Raptor, a crossover of sorts that blends muscle and off-road capability. Expected output is in the 700-plus horsepower range, likely around 700 HP, with Ford considering all-wheel drive for this version. Ford is positioning it as a high-dollar halo product, estimated $90,110,000, though many details remain speculative. Lastly, for aftermarket supercar levels, RTR Spec 5 is worth mentioning. Developed by Von Gittengender's RTR division, this is based on a 2026 Mustang GT upgraded with a Stage 2 Whipple supercharger to produce 870 HP and 6660 lb-ft. Only 50 units will be made annually. This shows the tuning potential and halo appeal Mustang still holds in the performance world. Performance and driving dynamics. With a range like that, the driving dynamics across trims will differ significantly. But there are shared underpinnings and improvements. Rear-wheel drive remains the default layout across the board, even for high-performance models. Performance variants use revised suspension, more aggressive camber, stiffer tower braces, and better damping to cope with increased output. Higher trims like GTD or RTR Spec 5 employ advanced aero, cooling, and weight reduction measures to maintain balance at high speeds. 60-time estimates vary by model. The supercharged 5.2L in GTD level, or equivalent, is expected to do 0-60 in about 3 seconds. A base EcoBoost and standard VAs will be a bit slower, but still in strong muscle car territory. Fuel economy, of course, will vary wildly depending on how hard you drive, but the EcoBoost will offer more sensible numbers in highway usage, and the VAs will be more thirsty in daily driving. One more note: Ford is retaining some purist touches. Manuals remain available in key trims, meaning this refresh is not converting the Mustang into a fully automatic, only performance cruiser. That's a win for enthusiasts. 2. Interior. Tech and infotainment. The 2026 Mustang's interior is evolving in ways both visible and subtle, with improvements in tech, comfort, and driver experience. Driver display and infotainment. A standout is the 13.2-inch central touchscreen display, which is now standard or widely available, coupled with a 12.4-inch digital instrument cluster. The new display is more responsive and integrates smoothly with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. SYNC Force, or a newer version, remains Ford's infotainment system, with improvements to connectivity, quicker response, and over-the-air updates likely. Trim and comfort features. Higher trims now include things like heated and cooled front seats, ambient lighting, and multi-color lighting options, leather or synthetic premium upholstery, with more customization options, heated steering wheels, depending on trim. Interior styling borrows a bit from the FX package. When equipped, expect plaid fabrics, white accent stitching, and matching trim elements for a classic touch. Ford's safety suit Ford Co-Pilot 360 Severus, including driver assist systems, remains on board and may be refined further in 2026. Also interesting, colored seatbelts, as mentioned earlier, bring a small but sporty personalization touch inside. One slightly negative note: some commenting sources have speculated that wireless Apple CarPlay Android Auto cellular wireless connectivity may only trickle into higher trims or still be limited, so check that when ordering. Trim structure and pricing. As of now, the trim lineup for 2026 is expected to follow a similar structure to 2025, with names like EcoBoost, EcoBoost Premium GT, GT Premium, Dark Horse Tesla, Dark Horse Premium GTD's a top performance variant, possibly Shelby GT500's rumored pricing estimates. The base Mustang is expected to start somewhere around $32,000 to $33,000 USD for the EcoBoost model. The GT variant with 5.0L V8 is likely to start around $50,000, making it accessible for serious enthusiasts. Higher performance trims, a GTD Raptor will climb well into six-figure territory depending on options. For example, the Raptor is speculated to between 90,000 and the 110,000. As a reference, some pre-production builds, GT Premium with performance package and upgrades, are already listed at around $59,945 USD. Keep in mind that international pricing, e.g. Pakistan, Europe, may differ significantly due to taxes, import duties, and local specs. 2. Strengths, weaknesses, and what to watch. Strengths. 1. Heritage plus modern blend. The FX package, new trim touches, and updated styling strike a balance between honoring Mustang's past and keeping things fresh. 2. Performance range. From a solid EcoBoost to a monstrous GTD, the 2026 Mustang gives options for daily driving or track aggression. 3. Tech upgrades, larger screens, upgraded connectivity, and refined interior choices help it compete with more modern rivals. 4. Tuning potential. The existence of models like the RTR Spec 5 demonstrates that the platform has headroom for tuning, which will please aftermarket buffs. Weaknesses and risks. 1. Regulatory and emissions pressure. Muscle cars globally are under pressure to reduce emissions. The removal of remote rev and potential limitations on options hint that Mustang may have to make further concessions. 2. Fuel economy. V8 and supercharged variants will be thirsty. Even the EcoBoost might struggle to deliver exceptional efficiency once you push it. 3. Transmission trade-offs. Manual fans will hope Ford doesn't phase out manuals in the higher trims, but the trend toward automatics, especially dual-clutch setups, may leave some enthusiasts wanting. 4. Price jump. Higher trims will likely be expensive once options and performance add-ons are considered. 5. International availability, spec differences. Some features or power options may not carry over to all markets. Sour for emissions, homologation reasons, it's zero. What to watch. What could change. Will Ford introduce a hybrid variant or assist option in later 2026 versions as part of emissions strategies? Rumors have circulated, though nothing official yet, and the status of the Shelby GT500 variant spy shots suggest one is in the works. How much of the GTD tech will trickle down to lesser trims, suspension, aero, cooling? How well Ford balances the car's usability as a daily driver versus its track capability? Market reaction, whether buyers will latch onto mid-tier trims or push toward the extremes. To comparing to rivals and the segment, in 2026, the Mustang must compete not just with traditional muscle cars, but also with modern sports cars, hybrids, and performance sedans. Some rivals include Chevrolet Camaro 7s have still offered in your market, Dodge Challenger Charger Hellcats, Nissan Zephyr 37Z successor models, Porsche 718 Cayman the Boxster track-oriented versions of BMW Zude, Mercedes AMG Gay Autos rest exotic marks. When pushing into high-performance variants, the Mustang's advantage has always been its bang-for-buck factor, robust aftermarket ecosystem, and deeply embedded brand identity. With this refresh, Ford is trying to push its performance envelope even further. The presence of models like GTD's 800 HP shows Ford is vying for comparability with exotic performance machines. The enforcer for segment competition is how well the Mustang balances performance, luxury, and usability. If it becomes too extreme, sales in middle trims may suffer. If it's too timid, it fails to excite. 2. Suggested talking MB. Roll points for the video start with an exterior walk-around. Highlight the new color options, FX package accents, changes in grillig wheels, aero interior shots show the color seatbelts, new displays, ambient lighting, materials, underhood, engine bay, compare EcoBoost, V8, and concept inspiration of the GTD's supercharged layout. Driving footage if available, from calm cruising to spirited driving, track footage, if possible, graphics, overlays, horsepower, torque numbers, variant comparisons, animation or cut in showing historic Mustang design juxtaposed with new design lines, especially for FX influence, discussion or side by side with competitor cars, pros and cons, summary, and closing, should you wait or buy now? Angle, whenever possible, seek footage or images from Ford's reveal events, auto shows, and press releases to enrich the visuals. 2. Conclusion and call to action. The 2026 Ford Mustang is shaping up to be a pivotal version in the pony car's life cycle. Not a radical reinvention, but a confident step forward. With sharper styling, new color and trim options, refreshed tech, and seriously powerful variants like the GTD and Raptor, this Mustang wants to be relevant for both die-hard fans and new buyers. If I were you as a buyer, I'd wait for a full test drive of a GT or GTD, and especially see how the dynamics feel in real roads, including under real-world conditions. The gearbox, seating comfort, ride over imperfect roads. These are the make or break elements. For Autopro View, this content gives you plenty to tease, compare, and showcase for your audience. Be sure to stress where Ford has retained the Mustang's soul, and where they've modernized, so your viewers know exactly what they're getting.